You can fix it. Go. We're live, but go.
Okay,
Risa left something on. But that's okay. We're getting the live stream started anyways because I already hit the go live button. Risa will be right back in a sec. But welcome, everybody. My name is Bahzad. My lovely wife here, Risa, will be back in a second. But we are here for the Naked and Famous Denim live stream. The greatest live stream in the history of the internet. And you are all a part of it. So thank you for joining us. Minasan konnichiwa.
Hello, I'm Risa. Sorry about that.
That's okay. That's okay.
Late.
We're tuning in from, we're streaming live from Yokohama, Japan, the international space headquarters of Naked and Famous Denim, streaming live to you from January the 6th. It was January 6th here, January 5th for many of you. Anyhow, let's check in with the chat. I'm still waking up. The brain is takes a minute here to warm up. So let's warm up with everybody. Snuff Spoon is in the house. Finally able to watch live today. Holiday work weeks were too crazy. The holidays are gone, sadly. Yeah. That went by too fast, as they often do.
Now we're gonna have this depressing stretch of cold weather without not much to look forward to other than better weather.
And the weekly live stream.
Right.
Hopefully we're helping you get through this winter season 1 week at a time. I know that this is the highlight of my week every week. This is the highlight of my work week, at least, every single week. I love being here with all of you guys. Chris Griffin, good to see you checking in this week. Saying that to Snuff Spoon. Good to see Chris Griffin is here in the house as well. BD, hey gang, the Elephant 12s. Wearing the Elephant 12s tonight. They're breaking in well. And so far, he's sticking to his 2024 plan. Haven't bought any new jeans. We're only 6 days
5
in.
days into it.
All right, let's see if we can keep that resolution going for you. MIJ Fades New Jersey is in the house wearing my Indigo Invitational Year 4 red gradient cores. This is the year of Naked and Famous. That's true. And also, every year and every day is the day and the year of Naked and Famous Denim. Every day is Naked and Famous Denim Day. We've declared it here many, many times, and we are here on the live stream to prove that feeling right. Correct. All right. Piero Moro is checking in from Guelph. We got $7.99. I just watched my 15-year anniversaries to break them in, and the Indigo transferred to the patch. That can happen. That can happen every now and then. If it bugs you too much, check in with Tate and Yoko. Maybe we might have some extra leather patches around. Maybe we can help you with that one. So send us an email if it's bugging you more than you want it to bug you. The other thing is you could just wear it and let it ride. Yeah. See what happens. Okay, I want to go into just say hello a few more times in the chat here. Then I want to go into a good topic. I've got an early Raw Denim related topic. As this is the Raw Denim live stream, we should talk about Raw Denim, but expectations with Raw jeans. So we'll talk about that in just a minute. Dusty Rad Title, ahoy from St. Paul, Minnesota. Ahoy. We've got Rice W5, hello from Birmingham, UK. Topher Koba, happy New Year from California, everybody. Snuff Spoon, let's go. Happy Friday, checking in from the biggest little city in the world, wearing something not appropriate. That's just a joke. But Nick Pugh, good morning from Seoul, South Korea. Welcome. Oliver Anderson, hello from Australia. The Toaster Pilot, hello from Wisconsin. Good to see everybody here. Austin Fletcher, welcome to day 5 of Indigo Invitational in my Jotaros. Great choice. And Austin Fletcher also mentions, love Risa's hair.
No, thank you.
I also love Risa's hair. There's quite nice hairs on her head. Vitaly, hi from Chicago, wearing my Elvira denim. Fantastic choice. I was just yesterday doing a little site maintenance. And, sometimes when you have these, when we have products that are on the website that are sold out for a while, it's like time to remove them from the website. And I was on the Tate and Yoko website, and I'm just like, I don't want to. I like looking at them. I like seeing. I don't want Anyways, I have to take them off the website soon. But yesterday I was like, should I? I'll give
Yeah,
another
I
couple
leave
days.
them around for a while just so that like if there's any like returns or like
Right.
any kind of like exchanges or whatever. So like or like if any leftover like units are found or whatever, we can So I'll also I intentionally keep them alive.
Yeah.
Like I've been thinking about like removing JoJo for a long time, but it's just like you know what, it's just
Yeah,
hopes up.
for a while it's okay, but it comes to a point where it's like I don't know if there's like Elvira was October, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's
No, but another thing is that like people can sign up for a notification if that item is still online. So that's just kind of where my heads are.
Yeah. Anyhow, it's good to see Elvira represented in the stream. Ben writes, first day on my Ecru Super Guys today. I'm in love. I've got a lot of love for Ecru denim. It at one point it felt like it was just a spring-summer thing, but I'm glad to see it carry forward. It is definitely an all-year wear type of denim, and I wore a pair of the raw cotton slubs for the Indigo Invitational. I think it was Indigo Invitational 2 or 3. I forget which one. 3. I wore black, and then I wore in Ecru, and I wore black. I just don't remember which year I wore what.
5, right?
This year's 4.
4. Okay.
My memory is not very good, by the way. I have a very good memory for a select period of time, but there's just so much that I just get everything confused.
I feel like that was for 3 then, because
maybe it was for 3.
Was
Black was probably
one.
2, and then 3. Yeah, that's how it went. Okay. Anton writes, Happy New Year from New England. Well, thank you very much, and Happy New Year to you and everybody here in the chat. Okay. Here's the topic I want to talk about because, there was a comment here. I forget who said it already. See, my brain is not that good. $7.99. I watched my 15-year anniversary to break them in, and the Indigo transferred to the patch. Right. So sometimes we will get emails from folks, and things are going to happen in the wash. The wash is a mystical, magical place sometimes. Sometimes you get marbling. Sometimes there's indigo transfer. There's things that happen in there, and there's a part of there's a little bit of reasonable expectation as to what's going to happen. I've seen people who've admittedly they've told me, I boiled my jeans to shrink them, and then I dried them, and then the leather patch shriveled up, and is this every now and then you'll get the comment, is this normal? And I'm like, yes. If you do that, it's normal. So the problem is that we'll get an email, and then not specifically speaking about 799's issue, but sometimes it's just reminded me of this issue. Is that sometimes we'll get an email where someone's like, well, I've had these jeans, I've worn them for 2 months, and there's a hole starting to form, or there's some fraying starting to happen here and there. Is this normal? And the question that they're really trying to tell you is, the question that they're really trying to get around to is, I'm not happy with this, and you guys got to do something about it, right? But they put it in this way where it's like, is this normal? I'm like, it is if you did that to the jeans. Sometimes I'll see some very clearly faded jeans, one knee is clearly more scraped than the other, and it's like, well, that's because of some habit you have, or maybe you fell, or there's something that happened to you that caused one knee to be a lot more faded than the other knee.
Yeah,
and
it's most likely you crossing your leg in one way, not the other.
Or you kneel on one knee more than, whatever it is, maybe you're working on your bike, your skateboard, whatever it is. There's a repetitive thing happening there, and, is this normal? And, that is also a yes or no answer, which we don't want to give you. I don't want to tell you, yes, this is normal, right? And then they're going to say, well, no, I've had other jeans that I've had for 7 years. And I'm like, well, but did you do that exactly? Exactly the same life that you had in these jeans? It's hard to compare wear usage from one garment to another garment, because you're not doing, even if you think you're just wearing them normally every day, you're not. Those garments are living individual lives on their own. If they caught on something, snagged on something, maybe you tripped, whatever it is, you wiped your hands, some residue got on them, they're all going to live very, very different lives. And so sometimes I get that question, and it just drives me nuts, because it's like you're trying to blame us for something that is clearly a wear issue that you may not be happy with, right?
Yeah. And it's not even like that it is an issue. It's like, yeah, if you scrape it, if you snag it, like, that will happen, and it's not a defect. It's just something that happens, and it's you would think people in this community who are trying to like fade jeans, trying to like add character to like a very blank canvas kind of clothing, would appreciate these little things. But I feel like some people are just like, yeah, fading is okay. I want it to fade, but I don't want anything else to happen to my jeans. Yeah. And it's like that's
right. Yeah, it's a weird place, because I want my jeans to fade, but I don't want them to marble, or I don't want them to rip here, and I don't want them to do, I don't know, whatever other issue that may occur, like maybe a chain stitch hem breaks. Well, why did the hem broke? This is ridiculous. I'm like, well, this is a piece of string. You know what I mean? Like, things happen. And just like in anything else in your life, you drop your iPhone. Sometimes it breaks, the screen breaks. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes, you get a little scratch or a ding here and there. It doesn't matter how long you've had something, unless there's like a fundamental flaw. Like, I remember there was one time where the tension on one of our pocket machines was off. And so the back pocket would come off basically immediately, right? Like, it looked like it was sewn on, but it wasn't. And so there was one batch of jeans that was clearly defective. And, we had shipped them, and then immediately there were some issues. We whenever there's an issue, we always ask for like the lot number or whatever the problem is. We can identify the problem. We can recall whatever we shipped to our retailers, and then if any issues show up at the consumer level, we deal with it, right? So we know when there's like an actual production issue. Sometimes like a button or a rivet, maybe those don't get pressed on properly. And those are things that are going to show up right away. Like if a button isn't attached properly, it might be bent a weird way, or if a rivet isn't attached properly, it's just going to fall off, right? So if those things happen, boom, we can account for those things very easily. But, production defects don't show up 3 months later. It's something that literally happens the second you get it. The second you get it, there's a problem with. This is not like a consumer electronic where maybe they use the fuse that are, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't even make that comparison, because I don't know how those things work. But in apparel, it's pretty much cut and dry, where when you're going to have an issue and when you're not going to have an issue. And sometimes I don't like the deflection of the problem. And so I think managing your expectation that raw jeans are going to fade, and if I do strenuous activities in these jeans, they're going to fade. If I wash these jeans, they're going to fade. Rips and tears and holes are going to occur. I'm wearing these jeans every single day. Sometimes I'll get that email. Hey, I've been wearing these jeans for 6 months straight. And your website says, I love it also when they tell me what the website says. Your website says that I should wear these every day for 6 months without washing them. I'm like, we don't say that, actually. And now that I've done exactly what you've told me to do, there's a hole forming in the crotch, and this is ridiculous because I've had these other jeans that I've owned for 7 years now. They've actually been sitting in the drawer in my bedroom for all 7 of those years, and they're perfectly fine. I've owned these jeans for 7 years. There's nothing wrong with them. And I'm like, the mental math that's going on here is really awesome. But me having to try and, like, respond to this person, very difficult. So, anyways, I know that this is not this crowd. I'm just venting a little bit. But every now and then I feel like I need to... I know I've definitely repeated this topic before, but I know that there's new people here every live stream, so maybe you're hearing this for the first time. But you do have to manage your expectations with how your jeans are going to wear. And if you're wearing rugged clothes and, the expectation shouldn't be that they're going to be pristine forever, especially if you're doing life in them. If you want them to be pristine, wrap them up, put it in your closet, hang it up. Don't wear it. Pristine. But the second you take them out of the box, so to speak, and you start wearing them around, things are going to happen. Life's going to happen to them. Risa was wearing her left-hand Twill Selvedge, brand new. She only wore them for a few days, and then she didn't want to wash them. You spilt something on them, or I think I spilt something on you. I spilt some non-alcoholic champagne on you. And then it was followed by us doing a little bit of yard work, so they got pretty grumpy. Did you end up washing those?
No, yeah. I just wiped with, like, a disinfectant wipe.
Right.
I don't know if it disinfected it, but it's just one of those things where it's just like, I could wash them. I will eventually wash them. I just didn't feel like it, and I didn't want the dust and, like, weird liquid on my jeans, so I just wiped them.
Right. But, even then, it's like, I wanted to keep these raw, and it's like, well, you're going to have to live with, either live with it or you wash it, and then, all kinds of things happen in life,
The risk was, to me, and, like, honestly, I just, like, I don't know what's going to happen to this jeans if I wipe it with, like, because it wasn't, like, a cloth and water. It was, like, disinfectant wipe, so it's, like, it has some chemicals in them. So I was just like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm just going to do it anyway.
There might be a weird stain, at some point you wash those jeans, and there might be a lingering stain underneath,
Perhaps. I did wipe all surface equally. I tried at least, so we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. But, those are the kinds of things that can happen. Something spilled on you, maybe you noticed, maybe you didn't notice, and, like, you wash it, and, like, whoa, where did that come from? Life happened. And, this is Raw Denim World. You got to be ready for those expectations. If your jeans rip a little, fix them. That's what we do in this world, right?
Yeah. And like, speaking of which, I feel like the people kind of like, oh, like, you rip them, it looks great, whatnot. But then, like, usually the first place that rips is the crotch, and you don't want a busted crotch. So you're just like, you're not happy about it, but it's just like, that's where your most tensions are. Like, there's just nothing you can do about it. So you can't just pick and choose, where you want your rip to happen.
Right.
Unless you want to do it yourself. Like, that's just going to be nature doing it, and it's not always the best.
But fix, and also, one thing that I learned was, even if there's a fade that you're not really happy with, keep wearing those jeans. You know what? Those kinds of fades will eventually you'll start to enjoy and appreciate them. I remember when I started wearing raw jeans, phones were kind of small, right? We didn't have smartphones yet. We didn't have big phones. And I really hated my cell phone fade. It was really small, and I was like, I made it a point to, like, not put my cell phone in my pocket. And so I had jeans with very faint kind of cell phone fades, and then jeans, like, without, because I was kind of careful with them. And I had a friend who would always put his iPod in his front pocket, and he had a case on it, so you could see, like, how the circles kind of distressed, and he had an iPod fade. I'm like, that is terrible. I really hated it. But looking back and thinking back at that, I'm like, that is actually pretty cool. Like, because it really...
It's of the time.
It's of the time. It sets the time. And so, when I started my raw denim journey, I hated cell phone fades, but then I got used to it. And I'm like, no, that's like, as much as I like a wallet fade, a cell phone fade is fine with me. It doesn't bother me. To me, it's part of the aesthetic. And it would be weird for a jean of this era to not have a cell phone fade. You know, that would be an authentic fade of this era. Like, you know, you look back at, you know, old school jeans and like, oh, that's where they carried this, or that's where, you know, you have a lot of distressing in this area because of, you know, the way the people worked. That is appropriate for that time. This is appropriate for this time. And, you know, things that you may not like, maybe like marbling. You know, you get those jeans out of the wash and it's like, whoa, what are all these funky, weird lines? That's the era we live in, right? We got washing machines, we got dryers. That's what happens, right? Mm-hmm. And so as you wear those jeans down more and more, those lines start to become less and less noticeable. They start to become part of your fade, and you start to appreciate more and more how that jean came together, because ultimately that represents you. So no matter what, like if it's 30 days you get your first hole in the knee, well, it may be premature, maybe, like in terms of like most people probably don't get a hole in their knee in 30 days, but it's not to say that it's unlikely or that it can't happen. It certainly can happen. It happened to you, right? You don't know what can cause a little tiny hole to happen, right? Maybe you skid your knee just a little bit. You know, if you're a dad or if you've got pets, you know, your pets are jumping up on you, they're scratching, you know, they got claws. Anything that nicks your fabric just a little bit, just takes a little tiny hole for that to expand out a little bit more, right? And of course, when you have small issues, you want to deal with them. Or if you're cool with it, you let it ride, right? But those are all the pets, especially. A lot of people underestimate, like if they got big dogs and they got claws, you know, they're jumping on you, they're jumping on your lap, they're kind of, you know, scratching the front of your jeans. Those things can, you know, micro abrasions can build up.
Like, I saw a meme, I'm sure a lot of you guys seen it around, but like of jeans, like you hang your jeans in the hanger. Oh. And then like
the cat.
put the like lasers on them so that cat would scratch in certain places and make a cat fade.
Yeah. I saw that. Somebody sent that to me and I'm like, funny, but clearly fake.
Yeah.
Clearly, it's not real, guys.
Yeah.
But
it can't do damage
that much
just
damage.
like that.
Yeah.
But
Snuff Spoon writes, and my cat thinks my heavyweight denim is a scratch post. Yeah. My cats, they go on my lap, they start scratching my knees all the time. It happens. Like, you know, these things that you might not think, you know, they might be a normal day to day, but all it takes is one little thing to happen, and all of a sudden it can grow and, you know, be something a little bit bigger. Michael Martin says, wabi sabi is key. I concur. That's it. Embrace it. Embrace the imperfection of your jeans. They're not going to be perfect, but they're going to be perfect. Mm-hmm. If you know what I mean. All right. Let's see what else we. Sorry, that was a little bit of a tirade there, but it was a good way to start the new year, wasn't it? BD writes, I really like seeing my usual fade spots. appear. I now realize how sorry, there's some grammar, I'm screwing it up. I now realize how I water off, I wipe water off on my thighs instead of using an air dryer in the washrooms at work. All part of the life of my jeans. Oh, I'm the same way. You know what the thing is, in Japan, there's not a lot of air dryers and hand dryers in the washrooms. Some have it, a lot of them don't have it, and my jeans are definitely, to be fair, I've always wiped my hands on my jeans.
There's less of the paper dryer in Japan.
But still.
A lot of airs.
But
like, the thing about air dryers, like, you put it in a couple times, it's still kind of wet, so you kind of have to. I don't like to wipe my hands on my jeans, though, because my jeans are not that clean.
Oh. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but that's it.
That just negates the purpose of washing my hands.
Perhaps, but it is, to me. I do it. I'm in the same camp. Mm-hmm. Anonymous user writes, iPod fade is great. I agree. You know what? The other day I was thinking, what happened to all of the iPods? I have like 5, so I can account for 5 of them.
I think I had 2 in my life. I think one of yours is mine. Right. Probably.
So there were millions of them. Where did they all go?
I mean, they became irrelevant because the memory was like so small that, you know, it wasn't so small, but it was, you know, like by today's standard, it's not great.
I guess, but I would expect to see mountains of them at the thrift store. And I see a couple of them every now and then. I really don't see a lot of them.
Yeah, because people didn't, like, it wasn't like, people didn't, like, buy it for a lot of money, you know, like, even today, I'm sure, like, unless it's, like, a special kind or, like, really early kinds that's still in good condition, like, people are not, like,
are they just sitting in a drawer?
Spend money on this.
No, but I mean, most people would be like, oh, I don't need this anymore. Like, everybody's VCR ended up at the thrift store. Like, I remember one time I was driving home with Brandon, and I had a VHS tape, and I didn't have a VCR at my place, and I'm like, oh, just drop me off over here. There's a thrift store. I'm just going to pick up a VCR. He's like, how do you know they're going to have a VCR? And I'm like, they're going to have a VCR.
Yeah.
And I walked out within like 5 minutes with a great Sony VCR, used it, and then I went back and donated it like a week later because I didn't need it anymore. Mm-hmm. But, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can throw it in the garbage. It's so small that, yeah.
I don't know. Where have all the iPods gone? Don't know. All right. Just a little love for the iPod. Arif Javan writes, and this is a great one, about the champagne and grass. It's the Wimbledon combo. Little yard work, little champagne on your jeans. That's a luxury combo right there.
It did not feel so luxury to me.
Well,
it was a hard work covered in dirt.
Dirt covered in champagne. It was wonderful. Sixth, Trill Cosby writes, what's up? Went to New York City for the holidays, and the first stop was Naked and Famous for the special New York only jeans. Love them. Well, I'm glad you came, and I'm glad that you were able to get a pair. They are very low on stock of those guys at the moment. There will be more coming soon. I don't know when, but soon. Okay. Invis Ian writes, I think some customers that get into raw denim don't realize that their fades will not look the same as the factory distressing. There are some who are new. Well, I mean, it could be anybody, but oftentimes it's new people who, and it's happened to me. You know, you see the pictures. You know, you're looking through the magazine or online, and you kind of have an expectation of how things are going to look, and your jeans don't end up looking that way. I certainly remember my first pair of raw jeans when I gave them. They were worn for 5-6 months, something around there, and I gave them the first wash, and they went from like that raw denim dark indigo to like that dad blue color, dad jean blue, and I was like, oh my god, I was so mad. I felt like I killed my friend. I'm like, I've been with you for every day for so long, wearing you and wanting to, and you get to that change, and I'm like, I wasn't used to it, and eventually I learned to embrace that moment. But there are going to be moments in your raw denim journey where you're like, what? This is not what I expected. But it's like if you ever grew your hair out long and you get to that midpoint where you're like, I don't know what to do with my hair, or your hair is just in your eyes. To be fair, I haven't been in that midpoint for years because I haven't cut my hair in like 15 years. But I remember, I would get my hair down to here, and I'm like, that's too short to be long, but it's too long because it's just in my eyes all the time, and it drove me nuts. And there's also a midpoint with your hair where it gets just around past your shoulders where it's kind of doing this weird flip out thing, and I just hated that. It was the worst. And I'm like, okay, I just got to keep going to get it past my shoulders.
But then this, you can like just tie it in the back, and nobody would see it. This part, like, I don't really know because, I never started off with like such a short hair, but I'm sure I have at some point. But it's just I don't know. But I can understand because you can't, like, it doesn't even reach the
right
thing, right? Yeah,
it's no good. Pedro writes, they're gonna have a VCR. Bahzad 2024. That's, quote me on that one. They're gonna have a VCR. They always do. There's a thrift store not too far from us that we go to often, and they had a VCR Blu-ray combo player. And I was like, oh, I need to buy this thing. And I have absolutely no use for it. But I was amazed by the fact that it was VCR Blu-ray. And, yeah, that's a very specific customer. And that customer is old. That's who that is for. But I appreciate them, whatever company made it. I don't remember which one. I think it was Panasonic.
Doesn't Blu-ray also play DVD?
Yeah, it does.
Okay,
but the fact that they even went ahead with the VCR Blu-ray combo. They're like, well, there's going to be some old people who are just like, I'm not giving up on those tapes. But fine.
I mean, it covers all of your, like, from our lifetime.
It absolutely does. Yeah. It covers everything. And if you're a horror movie or just a VHS collector, they're still out there. But oftentimes it's like horror movie VHS collectors. That would be a great player. Now, if they made a VCR 4K player, then it would really cover the whole entire range. You know, one thing I'm also noticing lately, maybe it's just because of the kind of content I consume, but there's a lot of articles coming out about how, you know, these chains in America like Best Buy and things like that dropping physical media, and how Blu-rays and movies are becoming like the new vinyl. And there's also like a resurgence of CDs in like the audiophile community. So I'm just like, yes, all this like media consumption, physical media consumption it's seemingly trending. Or maybe it's just the narrow haul of news that gets funneled to me. I'm not really sure, but I do appreciate all of the excitement around physical media.
Yeah, the CD comeback was bound to happen.
Bound to happen. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Anyways, who held on to their CD collection? I know we did. Pedro writes, "Long live the VCR. I still own and use mine." Well, that's awesome. I avoided VHS collecting because it would take up way too much space.
Yeah, and there's no point to it. Like, it's just such...
Yeah, the only point is to watch old movies
that is only available
on VHS.
Yeah.
And or like horror movies because you want to watch it on an old TV because you want to have that. It's all an aesthetic thing.
I think I also hate VHS because of that, because of the ring. Like, the whole entire, like, VHS thing was just, it scares me.
Yeah.
I was so afraid of seeing that static screen for a long time. Oh,
okay.
I still am.
No VCRs in our house then.
No.
All right, we'll leave it there. Chun Yip So writes, I picked up my Montreal pair, the Belle Provence Selvedge, and took them to New York City store to get them hemmed last week. Fantastic. It did the full journey right there. MIJ Phase writes, do you have a release date for the MIJ 13s? They're going to be sometime in February. No release date set yet. But speaking of release dates, let's talk about what's coming up soon. Next week, we've got Gradient Denim and the All Black Comfort Stretch. So 2 dual release coming out next Friday. Gradient Denim, All Black Comfort Stretch. Videos dropping Monday and Tuesday next week with blog posts and all that stuff. So there's going to be a lot of information coming on those soon. You can already preview them on tateandyoko.com. So like the product pages are up. Measurements for the Black Comfort are up. I don't know. I think this weekend they're working on the Gradient Denims measurements. So all that stuff is going to be coming up very, very soon. Chris Griffin writes, please do a gradient in the Groovy Guy. Well, I can't do it at this point because I don't have any fabric, but
that would have been a good idea.
That would have been a good idea. Okay. Then we're following that up. So that's on January 12th. Dual release. Black Comfort Gradient Denim. Then we've got a new pack of True Guy options. I don't remember all of them offhand, but I can refer to my list.
I think
there's
Indigo Stretches in there.
Yeah, let's just pull her up. There we go. Black Power Stretch. Indigo Selvedge. Duck Canvas. Khaki Green Duck Canvas. Black by Gray Stretch Selvedge. Deep Indigo Stretch Selvedge. Another So that's going to come out on the 19th. So that's a pack of True Guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 new True Guy options. The khaki green duck canvas, the Selvedge duck canvas Selvedge, and the original duck. So 2 color options. Also, just so you know, the khaki green duck canvas, I added it in a denim jacket. It's going to be coming out a little bit later on in the season, but it will be coming soon. So if you're looking for a khaki green top option, this is going to be a really, really great denim jacket option for you because, of course, it's going to be so, it's going to mix in so beautifully with your existing indigo jeans. Sometimes it's difficult to do the indigo, but if you break it up, it's so much easier, and that khaki green is going to fade, and it's going to age beautifully alongside your blue jeans. So that's coming out sometime this spring. I don't have an ETA for that one yet, but that's what's coming out. And then I didn't announce it in the email, but coming for the Friday afterwards. So this is January 26th. It will be the start of the Spring Summer 24 collection, and we're going to be releasing the Chinese New Year denim. So that's going to be the first release of Spring Summer 2024.
Year of the Dragon.
Year of the Dragon. It's going to be a big one. So a lot of things coming, and I saw that Tate and Yoko posted like a meme of, I got to pull it up because it was a good one, of Spring Summer 2024 coming. And we just got to be ready for it because the tidal wave of denim is about to arrive. That's it. Here we go. Let's check it out. There you go. Naked Famous Denim, Spring Summer 24. Here it comes. That's it. It's a coming. And there's going to be a lot. And we're going to keep you guys entertained, hopefully, with all the new releases. There's going to be a lot of fun stuff happening. Also, the guys over at Tate and Yoko are very clever when it comes to the memery on their IG page. I enjoy it. I have nothing to do with any of this stuff, and they just keep coming up with it. I'm like,
yeah, it's fun.
They're very clever. These young minds. My mind is old. I can't come up with clever ideas like this. Yeah, your new jeans are rubbing on the furniture. Indigo everywhere. That's just life. You got to get used to it. Expectations, everybody. Manage your expectations. Watching 3 hours of This Week at Tate and Yoko, my sleep schedule. Why am I so tired? There's a lot of episodes of This Week at Tate and Yoko. Any more of that 32 ounce? That's definitely a question that comes up all the time. And the answer is, we don't. Speaking of This Week at Tate and Yoko, we had, I remember we did the Halloween episode, and there was the bonus content, like kind of holiday, the boys hanging out episode. Mm-hmm. The 2 least viewed episodes, but the 2 most like labor intensive episodes. I don't know what it is about like putting in a lot of effort into those, like an extra amount of effort. Mm-hmm. And then it's just like, I get it. Maybe the holiday episode wasn't so denim-y, but yeah, I look at the views on those. I'm like, oh man.
But it's like that doesn't include like if people watched it for a minute and clicked out. Does that affect the view? It's still a view count.
You still get a view. So
like I don't know. They decided not to watch it without watching it.
What do you mean?
Like they wouldn't know what the content is.
Yeah, but I think what happens is if the people who watch the video click off immediately,
then it doesn't get recommended.
Then it doesn't get recommended, so people don't get to see it as much. So that's kind of what happened there. I think with the Halloween one, number one, we released it on like November 1st, so it was like right after Halloween. Yeah. But I think the fact that it started off with Garrett with a pumpkin head, and people are like, "I'm out of here." I'm like, "No, this is great.
That is great.
I'm staying
That's
tuned."
a lot of work.
But anyhow, the sociologist writes 15th anniversary restock. There is no restock happening. I know that there's a little bit of. We've got Ted. Subscribe to the channel. Welcome to the family. 15th year anniversary restock. There is no restock planned. We used all the fabric, so there's not going to be something like we're going to do another production run or anything like that. I know that Tate and Yoko, they get returns here and there. Some of them go online right away. Some of them don't. I saw that they were planning on doing, they called it a restock, but it's mostly just jeans that have come back from exchanges and things like that, and they're just going to put them all up at once. So I'm not sure if they've done that yet or not, but don't expect, massive amounts of inventory. But what you should do, if you haven't done so already, is to sign up for those back in stock notifications so that if your size does come back in stock, you will get notified. That being said, it goes out on like a first come, kind of first serve type of situation. Am I right?
Emails?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I increased the limit on like how many. Like it used to be that like if we get one back, then like 20 people would be notified. Now I think it like
notifies everyone.
Pretty much, unless it's very, very popular.
I see. Okay, so unless there's like 1,000 back in stock requests.
Well, I mean, I think it wouldn't go over 100 or anything like that. And also, like, it goes in, this is also like, the internet, it goes in batches. So it's not like, I don't know if it's first come, first served. But the thing is, like, if we're not doing a release, then the automatic inventory sync happens at like 2 a.m. Eastern. Just so that, like, we don't have any kind of, this is, like, the lowest traffic times, I guess. And so, if you're up at that time and paying attention, you might get notified.
Okay.
But I wouldn't recommend you staying up every night to wait for those.
Yeah. Okay, that is a good pro tip.
Yeah, it is a real deep pro tip. We sometimes do sync in the middle of the day too, but generally speaking, most of the syncs happens at 2 a.m. So
just so people understand what we're talking about with sync is our inventory system syncing up with our online store. So that's what she means by sync. So there's a deep knowledge pro tip there if you're looking for trying to get a rare
like
find.
A return find.
Okay. Ted writes, I just got my Firebird Weird Guys, and I absolutely love them. Now I'm eyeing a pair of the elephants for my next pair. Ha, ha. Well, that's the way it goes in Raw Denim Land, for sure. Once you get one, you often get more than one. Mm-hmm. You go through a journey. Mm-hmm. You get your classic indigo, you get your schlubby pair, you get your heavyweight, you get your black, you get your canvas pairs, you get your ecru pair. There's something for everybody in that world. Mm-hmm. You get your funky pair, maybe with a colored weft or something like that. Enjoy jeans as many ways as you can. My only thing that I want to warn folks about is, as I tell you to mitigate your expectations with wearing your jeans, mitigate how many you might own at any one time, because I know this is bad for business. I'm telling you not to buy jeans, but I'm really just telling you to be careful with your purchases, because oftentimes we overload ourselves. Sometimes you might buy 3, 4, 5 pairs of jeans, but you can only wear one at a time, right? You can only wear one at a time, and sometimes it's okay to have a couple pairs. Maybe there's a pair, okay, I'm going to wear it next season or whatever it is. You got a pair in the stock room ready to go whenever you're ready. Or maybe you rotate your jeans a lot. That's fine too. But sometimes we pick up a lot of pairs and we hope to wear them. And as I'm just going to go with my perspective. As I've gotten older, I've gotten wider. And as I've gotten wider, more and more of my jeans that I've had over the years don't fit anymore. And that's never fun. So, you don't want to find yourselves in that situation. I know there's a lot of guys here, and this is just what happens to guys, ladies too.
I think
people.
In general.
If you're a person, this is what happens to you. You get older, you get a little wider.
Doesn't mean you're not a person if you don't get wider.
No, you are also a person. I see you. We're here. But I'm just saying that most people I know and most people I've ever encountered, this is what happens to them. And so when you build up this this collection, unless it's a collection for collection's sake, you don't care. This is I appreciate the fabric. I want it. I want to own it. That's fine. You want to wear the things that you buy. You want to use the things that you buy. So don't buy too much that you're not going to use in the near future. Sounds terrible for business, but I just want you to enjoy the things that you own, because I don't want you to have jeans that you're looking at, you're like, oh gosh darn it. You know, I don't want there to be bad feelings toward that item. So enjoy the things that you got and wear the things that you got. Okay, if you're a collector, that's another thing. Okay, that's totally something different. I know you're not gonna use all the things that you buy, but that was never the intention. So that's like, for me, I fluctuate a lot in my weight, and I have, of all of the many jeans I've owned over the years, I've got like 2 or 3 pairs that still fit. And like over the holidays, I put on even more weight. So I'm in New Year's resolution mode and in exercise mode. So I gotta drop some weight, not just for my health, but also for the fact that I want to be able to wear the clothes that I own. I pulled out like some winter jackets the other day, and I'm like, these don't zip up anymore. It's over. And I'm like, I don't think I'm ever gonna get to the point where those are gonna fit anymore. But done. They're totally gone. It's just over. I don't. There's a lot of things in my closet that are just game over. So,
yeah. But the point is that you should enjoy what you can enjoy when you can enjoy it.
Yeah.
You should not count on your future self to be able to wear everything you have today.
Yes, that's true. Also, when you buy your jeans, the insurance policy is get them with a little bit of room. Just get them with, even if you're the kind of guy who's like, oh, I never grow. I was the guy who never grew. From my 20s to my 30s, I was like 125, 135 pounds. That was it. I didn't move that much in terms of my weight. Size 27, size 28. Now I'm pushing a size 32, 33. I never thought I would.
To be fair, I think that's normal people. Where, like when you're younger, your metabolism is better, and then when that starts to go down, it goes down very quickly. Yeah,
I thought I was going to be there forever, but that's certainly not the case. And not to say that you're going to be able to buy a pair of jeans that's going to last you forever, right?
But that's also the point. It's like nothing is going to fit you forever.
Yeah.
Or, nothing is going to be something that you want to wear forever either. That even if your size don't change, you might not want that anymore. So you really want to enjoy it while you have it.
But even while you have it, I would suggest just to have a little bit of room in that waist, because all it takes is one holiday meal or, one weekend of gluttony for your waist to expand a little bit. And, you don't want to feel like, hey, I can't wear these jeans anymore. So
yeah, and nobody wants to be uncomfortable. That's my thing. It's just like, if it's, if it fits when you're hungry, like it's not going to be comfortable after a meal. And you eat a meal, 2 or 3 times a day every day. So
yeah. So anyhow, take this a little bit of advice there. No Saints writes, how dull it is to pause, to make an end, to rust unburnished, not to shine in use, as though to breathe were life. Alfred Lord Tennyson, Ulysses.
I went way over.
Went way over my head, but I think what it means is that it's a shame for something to not be used.
Yeah.
Right? It is a shame for something to not see wear and tear, because if it doesn't see wear and tear, it means it wasn't used to the full extent that it could have been used. So use your things. Don't let them just stay, unless, I don't know. Use your things. There's certain things that maybe you want to keep in pristine condition, like a comic book or Pokemon card, I suppose. But some things you want to see them used. Here's just a camera I have, and it's just seen a lot of use. It's got little dings and scratches here and there, that's life. And I look at those dings and scratches, and I'm like, yeah, that's because I used this camera a lot. It was my daily pocket camera for a long time. I still bring it out every now and then. It's a little old, but still does the job. Use it up. I like seeing dings on cameras. It means they were used. It means they were loved. Smoke writes, I've been the same waist size for almost 30 years. Congratulations to you, sir. You are the genetic lottery winner in that sense.
Or maybe it's a lot of hard work.
That too. It could be one or the other or both. And congratulations to you. My brother is also.
That's true.
He's the same size he's been his whole life.
Yeah.
Some people are like that.
To be fair, I haven't changed my weight in a long time. I go softer to harder in terms of fat to muscle.
Yeah.
But my weight does not change.
I see.
It's insane.
No, my weight goes up fast. All it takes is like one meal, and I'm up 2 pounds.
Well, that's like, if you weigh yourself at the same time every day, like it's
which I do. But yeah, I also know my weight. Like I'm at the point where like I just know how heavy I am when I walk around.
But you also can tell by picking up a suitcase how much it weighs, or picking up a box and how much it weighs. I have no ability of that.
I'm pretty good at that.
I am so not good at that.
It's like we're at the airport. I'm like, they're like, how much does this weigh? I'm like, 47 pounds. And it goes on the scale. It's like 48 and a quarter. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty close.
Yeah, like to me, I can't tell a difference between like 20 kilograms to like 25. Like I probably could tell a difference between 10 and 25, but like I just have no clue.
I'm good at getting it pretty close.
Yeah.
Jordan Green writes, "Hey Bahzad and Risa, it's Rose City Indigo. Good to see you. I got a new job and I haven't been on these streams in a while. It's very good to see you guys. Well, it's very good to see you here. Welcome back to the stream." Kenny Ingram writes, "What's your favorite lighter blue fabric you've ever developed?" That's a good question. What's your favorite lighter blue fabric that you've ever developed? I like the recycled denim a lot. I think that one's really beautiful because of the way the color is achieved. It is not a wash down. It is not a chemical wash. It is a blend of dyed material and undyed material coming together to create what looks like a stone washed blue jean. I really like the way that looks. The Ocean's Edge Selvedge coming out for this season, I really like it. I mean, here are the two coming out this season. I like this blue because this is like, number one, it's just nice and soft for the spring-summer season. But to me, it's also like the cheat code. Or if you want really light faded blue jeans, well, just start with light raw denim, and then you're practically already there. So if you want things to look really vintage really fast, just get these and wear them down and they will fade. But I also like these like aquamarine kind of green colors. So this is the Ocean's Edge. I really like this one. It's got a nice hairy texture to it as well. Billowy fabric. It's dense. Wait for the video to drop on this one, but this is quite a beautiful one. But I think maybe all-time favorite light colored jean, maybe the recycled denim.
I don't know if this is a light color, but lighter color is the natural indigo Selvedge. Like I've always liked it. It starts off like not like you look at it on its own, it doesn't look so light blue. But compared to like other dark indigo jeans, it is definitely a lot lighter. And then once you start to see the fades, like that's just gonna be like, light, like much lighter with the wear. And I haven't been working on them I have a pair of natural indigo, and I've been trying to kind of get back into it. It is a little like. So I'm used to wearing classic, which is a lot more like relaxed fit.
Right.
And, like I got that one in Arrow, so I'm just like, I don't know. I kind of like the looser fits.
Sometimes once you get into that loose mode, it's hard to go back.
It's hard to go back into a little tighter.
Jordan Green writes, "I also like the clear blue island blue combo you guys did for a couple of spring summer seasons. Yeah, those were very nice as well. There was a Somebody said, I can't see it. Oh, here, Kenny Ingram, I have an old vintage blue Selvedge from the first couple of seasons that I've worn down. Those were fantastic. I own those myself. It's in this realm in terms of color story. So if you miss those vintages or you saw them, you maybe never had a chance to get them. This is something in that realm. So I think this is a really neat color. And I remember when that color first hit, I was, still in my raw denim infancy. I'm still learning a lot. I thought I knew a lot. And I saw that color, and I'm like, I've never, ever, ever seen a raw denim jean or like that color ever. Selvedge. I was so excited to get that pair. I was like, this is so unique, so fresh. And even till today, like, you really don't see a lot of things like this out there. So it is still, even though it's been over a decade since that jean came out, it's still fresh for a lot of people. So this is a very neat color to enjoy.
The Sakura skies were really nice.
That was really nice. The Pickle Ricks are a fairly light green cast. Yeah, I wouldn't call them I wouldn't put them like in this realm of lightness, but that was a great green casted denim for sure. Snuff Spoon, Bahzad, would you ever do a collection video showing all your Naked Famous denim? I'd have to bring it all together. A bunch of it is in Montreal. It's either on the fade wall, it's in boxes. Like, it's certainly possible. I do have a lot of collections of things that maybe could make interesting videos. My 50 are, how many pairs of Yucatan shoes do we have? It's like over 50. Here we go. Here's a lot. Here's a ridiculously stupid boot collection for people who don't leave the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's it just I like.
It's also like 95% Yucatan.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't think I have boots from anybody else.
You have wait.
The Santo Domingo pair. That was a Yucatan brand.
Oh.
Yeah, that was Yuki made those. That was it. He doesn't make that brand anymore, but it was still from him. But yeah, I don't have any Red Wings. I don't have any Vibergs personally. Yeah. That's really all I have. I'm very loyal in that respect. Lionel writes, bring back the milk jeans, please. We will. There will be a chocolate milk at some point. I promise you. Pedro writes, my Solenia Selvedge is my work jacket. I feel like another month of working in it, and it might be worthy of a post. Well, I'm excited to see how those fade. Kenny Ingram writes, not to open a can of worms, but are there any, just a quick question, guys, still emailing Tate and Yoko customer service? There's always, people who are like, hey, I just have a quick question. It's actually, I find the quick question people are people who message me on Instagram. Hey, just have a quick question for you here. And it's never a quick question. Though I have to say that on DMs for Instagram, I don't answer questions anymore. They've just become way, way too much. And it turns into like, I wish I could hang out and chat with all of you all the time, but I think this is the time for that. And sometimes it becomes like, hey, I have a quick question. I have like these 5 jeans. Can you tell me the history of them, and can you tell me how they fit? And you're just like, you do a little, try to answer the question as best you can, and then it's like, oh, okay. And then it's like, oh, now I have these questions, and now I have those questions. It just becomes like this whole long, like, I'm like, I cannot, I don't have time.
Yeah.
I don't have time for this.
I had to tell you not to, like, just not to, like, you can draw a line. I think, a lot of, like, you're not, like, an influencer or whatever, but it's like, when you get to a certain level of like random people, the people that you don't know in real life messaging you, like, you can draw a line somewhere and say, like, you know what, I can't answer all of this. They probably understands that because sometimes you just send a message, and if they respond, and then they'll be like, oh, that's okay, then you're gonna ask all these things. But if you don't answer, I don't think they'll be like oh, he's just a horrible person who doesn't get back to me. I think it's important for you to like not let it become like a headache, because sometimes you do want to talk to these people, and it's just like,
right, there are people that I definitely, and I message with back and forth, like, that's fine, but there's sometimes it's just like, I get the sense that they're like, oh, I saw you on YouTube and I want to be your friend now, and I know that this is like we have certainly a relationship, right? But there's a lot of you. There's a lot, right? And I cannot possibly answer everybody's messages all the time.
Yeah, especially if it's like some complicated questions about, that it takes forever. Because I know your personality, and you were like, if you were going to say something about some things, then you have to be right, and you have to write it in a certain way, and you have to like, do all these things. So I think there's just like, you need to kind of be like, well, I'm not gonna have time to answer this, so I'm just gonna leave that in the in the inbox, and not let me bother. Like, don't let it bother to the degree that you have to be always like worried, because like sometimes you have an email that you're supposed to like respond, that you're not responding, that it just kind of gets in your head and kind of bothers you. It's like a stress thing. So I think it's just like, by deciding not to respond to every single messages, then I think it will like relieve you from that and constant stress.
But there's also like there's an outlet for all of these things. Like if you want to talk to me,
if we want to ask
we got the live stream, right? We got 2 hours a week of live stream action, right? High flying, exciting, action-packed live stream action. I'm here to answer your questions. Maybe I don't read it this time. I'll just be part of it. At some point I read mostly everything that comes here. I can't answer everything, but we're here. And then the other thing is, like, some of the questions that you're sending my way are meant for customer service. Like, hey, here's my order, blah 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 blah. Can you change, I want to exchange it for another. I'm like, we have a thing for this, right? This is not. You don't have to DM me personally to be like, hey, I need to do an exchange. I'm like, I don't. This is odd. Like, just there's a spot for that. So sometimes I feel like that's just their like, oh, let me see if I can knock on this door if he's gonna answer it, and it's just, be here, just tag me in a meme or something, it's fine, right? But like, I can't possibly answer everything, and it's not personal, but the more you are involved in the community, we may have a chance to interact here and there. That's fine, but yeah, I have to not respond to a lot of messages sometimes, and sometimes, like, I do find that if it is an important thing, if something is important, it's going to find its way to me. So if it is a matter of me having to be involved, then somehow it's just going to find its way. But it's like, oh, if you have a customer service problem or you have an issue with your jeans, like, DMing me is not
right.
It's not going to. There's a venue for that, right?
Right, and like, I understand why people do it. Some people might just be used to interacting with people that way, but there is like DMs, like, you can see if the other person read it. You can, like, you can see the entire, like, back and forth and stuff like that, and it's convenient, but it is not appropriate for a thing where you like, it's not it's not like a like they said initially, like, hey, I have a quick question. Like, it's not that. It's just like, if it's something that needs to be said, that needs to be like processed, or needs to go through a course of action, then you have to email. That's how people should operate.
Right. Yeah. So and it really is never a quick question. Somebody's like, I don't know. like the quick question is usually like, "Hey, I found these jeans at a thrift store or whatever. I couldn't find any information on them online. Can you tell me a little bit about the history of these jeans?" And I'm like, a little bit of the history of these. I'm like, that's a long answer.
And
like,
also assuming that like you have all of the information about every single jeans that you've ever made in the past, 15 years, all like ready to go. Like that's not how things are.
To be fair, like sometimes I do it. Look, sometimes a message will get through and I read it. I'm like, oh, okay, like, and I'll do it, right? Because it just sometimes it intrigues me, but I'm like that quick question involved like 45 minutes of my research to like.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's like I have the same personality where like when I read it, I want to respond. This is my problem with like working, remotely. Like if I read an email, even if I turn off my computer, sometimes I just want to respond right then and there. Like, I'm supposed to be going to bed right now, but I have to respond. And that just, like, I find it that if you resist the urge at that moment, then it's easier to wait till the time that you get back to work to answer it. It's just a momentarily thing.
Sometimes, like, it's in my nature to want, like, if there's a task, to make sure it's done.
Yeah,
right.
100%.
So when in my email box is like everything is like tagged and organized, and I'm just like, this needs to be empty. Anything that can be completed must be completed. Like I don't like leaving anything on the table. So if like there's random questions here, it's in my like obsessive nature to like have to go and answer every single question. But I don't have the time to do all of those things, and like we have an entire team. For customer service to answer questions and things like that. And like that's what they're there for. So like, I get people want to talk to me, and I will every now and then have that opportunity. Don't be offended if I don't. And we have the live stream for this, so I try to do my best. The Raven, because Raw Denim is big enough to have a strong following, but niche enough where the chance of meeting someone to talk with about it is very low. I'm going to say that, maybe in real life, the chances of you running into someone and striking up a conversation about pants is going to be really low. But to be fair, I think that is practically every hobby. If you're a photographer, maybe you're a Leica guy. You know what I mean? You're like you like 35 millimeter rangefinder cameras. The chances of you just randomly encountering another person on the street doing that, it's probably going to be pretty low, especially if you're not in a major city. But the chances of you being able to talk to somebody with the same hobby, I'm going to say is very high because forums exist. Platforms like this exist. The chances of you being able to do that, and I discovered that for me, it was in high school when I was, comic book anime nerd kind of guy. I had to turn to the internet to find friends who liked the kinds of things that I liked, right? So I was, video games and whatever it was, I was very active on a lot of forums because I'm like, well, I don't have a lot of friends. I don't have a lot of friends, but I don't have a lot of friends. The internet was always an outlet for me to engage in the hobbies and interests that I have. So I think it's a lot easier nowadays, especially because we have phones that can do all of this stuff. Before you had to be at your computer. Now you could be absolutely anywhere. If you're on the bus, if you're on the subway, wherever you're going, you want to join a Discord and talk about your favorite, subject. There's something active going on all the time. So I think it's actually a lot easier now to engage in a community with people of similar interests. Now, it might not be in real life, but you know what? To me, real life is that. To me, it's not. I don't really see the difference, if having a friend online and having a friend in person. Like it is to me. It's the same thing. Like social media is still being social. I don't really distinguish.
I would say it's the same.
But even as adults, many of us are in the age where it's like you don't get to hang out with your friends like you used to. If I see a friend once a year, that's pretty good for me, right? Most of my communication with my friends is like, a random email every now and then, or like, you send them a message or you send a funny post. Like that's the way it is nowadays. So, I feel like social media has actually brought me closer to my friends than I would have been otherwise. So I don't know. That's just the way I feel about it. Okay, there's some chat going on. Chief Maggie writes facts. The Raw Denim subreddit is active with a lot of Naked and Famous. This is true. The Raven, I agree with Chief Miggy. Raw Denim is a great subreddit. I wanna 95% of the people on there are extremely supportive and hate comments get downvoted pretty hard. Right. Yeah, it is a pretty positive community over there at the Raw Denim subreddit. I was pretty active there a couple years ago. I just haven't been so active on Reddit very much anymore. But yeah, I remember the 2000s era being on fashion forums, and some forums you signed up for because you wanted to be active, and some forums you were just a lurker. You were just, I'm here to read the comments and see what's going on, because the nastiness of some of the forums back in the day, it's like you'd post up a fit pic and you'd just get roasted. It was like, wow, it made you afraid to like post something online or not have like the right stuff. And nowadays, everything flies. Which I think, I remember, I don't know, I saw a meme somewhere a long time ago, and it was like, the kids these days, they don't know what it's like getting cyberbullied online about your outfits. And maybe in some ways it kind of forced like a certain level, like high level of, online outfits. So certain forums were very much known for like, there's like high quality fit pics and like people here, because the people who actually had the balls to put something online, they knew that if they were putting it online, that this is going to be an approved outfit, right?
Yeah, but it's also like very like, it's not that the quality of the outfit, or ability of somebody to put it together. It was just kind of more like, this is okay because we decided these are cool. Yeah. And this is not okay because we decided these are not cool. Like that was kind of like the vibe. Maybe. I feel. And that's just, I think like the fact that everybody gets like, oh my God, it's amazing, and not like a single constructive criticism is not like a interesting place to be in. But at the same time, like hate is just not. Yeah,
hate is not good. Hate is not necessary. Constructive criticism is way better, but like sometimes I get these little Instagram posts and it's like somebody's like, oh, tell me about your fit. And it's just, I'm looking at these young people, and I do appreciate the spirit of young people. I was a young people at one point, and their outfits are it's like trendy, like Y2K stuff, and I'm like, they're going through our trash pile and they're putting on the worst stuff from our era, like the worst, and they're putting it all together, and I'm like, this kid looks cool, kind of, but he's wearing the worst clothes. And I guess they're pulling it off, to be fair. But I do find it kind of funny that some of what I consider to be the trash pile of the 2000s is finding its way into these trendy young people. Mm-hmm. But to be even more critical of that, like, I think most of it is cool on Instagram, and I really don't see most of that playing out in real life.
Yeah, you're just a weirdo. I think, I think really, like, put together outfit is a put together outfit no matter what your taste is. Whereas, like, those just, garbage pile kind of things, outfits are just, like, accepted because they're in trend now, and a lot of people kind of understand what it is that you're trying to do.
They're a little eccentric, and it works well for online. You know,
Yeah,
you see
and
that outfit, and it's like, oh, I want to. It's like I see that outfit, and I want to talk about it because it's so different, right?
And but also, like, you know, you get like certain pieces. It's clearly like you can see what you're going for, and therefore that's okay. Whereas like if you just have a random stuff that has nothing to do with the other, like then it's just not cool.
And I guess in some ways we hated those outfits because of like how played out some of those outfits and those looks were. Like, you know, the Rockin' Republic jeans, heavy distressing with the you know, skulls and tattoo T-shirt with a Gucci pouch across your chest and some, like, you know, horrible designer sunglasses. Like, that was a terrible look. Terrible. I sold lots of them. I'm responsible for some amount of that, but that was a terrible look. And the fact that there was just so many people wearing that, and then obviously that all dissolved, but like now to like see some like 18-year-old like putting that on and being like, you know, I'm
like it's hard to tell if they're being ironic about this
or if they like it.
They actually think it's the coolest thing. Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Because in the beginning of these trends, I felt like a certain level of irony in them, but now I'm just like, are they serious?
Yeah, I'm not sure. The Raven writes, I wish I saw more practical outfits online than most of the stuff I see. Yeah, most of the stuff online is stuff that photographs well. Sometimes I see someone and they're like, they're wearing like 5 layers on top. And layering looks nice on the mannequin, right? Like when I learned how to like dress mannequins, at Diesel, it was minimum 3. You have to have 3 layers minimum for anything. It was like if you're gonna put like, you know, a top on a mannequin, it had to be t-shirt, maybe like a button-up shirt, hoodie, denim jacket, right? Like, you had to have the shirt open. Like, everything had to, like, build up on it. So you had all these, like, and it looks great on a mannequin. But obviously, if you're to wear that many layers on, you're just, it doesn't work well.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, whatever that looks, like, good on the internet versus what makes you look like a proper human being in real life are very different things.
Yeah. So, the internet is great for inspiration, but maybe not always so practical.
And if you look proper and put together, then it's kind of boring to see it on the internet. It's not worth looking at because you can, you know, find that person like in real life. I don't know. I just feel that way about, you know, it's like reality TV shows. Like, these are not the highest quality people you watch, but they're fun to watch. Yeah. That's why you watch.
That's true. Kenny Ingram writes, nowadays it's skinny distressed crap jeans for $500 and $2,000 plus Montclair jackets. Total trash in both quality and aesthetics. The price of designer jeans is ridiculous. Just
everything is ridiculous.
Oh my god, some of it is crazy, and I'm like, who's buying this stuff?
Also, the bipolarness of like things that are so expensive and things that are so cheap.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, there's dirt cheap items of clothing, brand new clothing out there, and there's just insanity of the luxury brands.
I mean, I understand why the luxury brands' prices are the way they're priced. I mean, that just boils down to their marketing, how they have to price their products in order to be sellable at the department store level. Like, those are things that go into account. And some people have heard this before, but like the department stores aren't going to touch you unless you're giving them gigantic margin, because the department stores are struggling to sell anything at regular price, and they need that little, you know, on sale button on their website in order to feed you. You know, to make you feel like you're getting a deal, but you're not getting a deal because these products are all designed at some point to be put on sale, so that the brand gets a margin and that the retailer gets a margin. It's just that the margins are so high for the products that they're providing you in terms of quality it just, our jeans are like, we have to deal with inflation and things like that. We have, the costs of everything goes up. So we have to adjust our prices little by little. But like when we adjust the price, it's like $6. Like no joke. It's like $7. Like we're like, yeah, that'll do it, right? Yeah, but I see other brands that are like, yep, it's a $50-$60 increase this season. It's like, what? Like on the same jean? Like the jean last season to this season, $50 more? Like why? How? It doesn't make any sense. But of course, if you understand the business, it makes plenty of sense. Hey, and look, no shame at the game. If you can sell $999 jeans that could have been sold for $129, and your customer is happy doing it, then you've done it. Mm-hmm. Okay? Your customer's happy, and everyone's happy in this transaction. Sure, good for you. I'm gonna throw my 2 cents in because it's the internet, and there's no law telling me I can't. And even if there was a law, I'm gonna defy it.
Yeah. But another thing is that like we all collectively have to kind of stop like living this like buy it on sale like brain. I feel like I certainly was guilty of that. Like when things are on sale, you definitely feel like you're getting a deal, and that's the reason why like people have higher prices to begin with.
Right.
And it's just like that's one of those things where like if it's worth it, like then you like I think I make it a point to like if there's something that it's like to me worth the price that it is, like I try to buy it at I try not to like wait till like oh maybe it'll be on sale and stuff like that, because it's like you're kind of making a statement that this is what I want, this is what I like agree to pay for this item, and I think that supports the brand in general, not to be like overpricing the initial prices. It's my very small vote, and I think you can't change your brain to the point where like you can turn off that like sale is a better deal, because it is it was something that somebody bought at a certain price and you're getting it for a lower price. But I think it's just to kind of have a healthier market, we have to support the brands that are doing things at good prices. Yeah.
And if those good prices go on sale, then hey, even better for you. But I feel like it's just inherently dishonest to start off with a price that is so ridiculous. Yeah. And then say, hey, but it's 50% off now. And it's like, but even that price seems a little high for what you're selling me. Right? Yeah. But again, I go back full circle. If you're happy to pay a ridiculous price for something, then all power to you and the brand for convincing you for doing so. My job is to try to educate people about quality and, have an expectation of what you should be able to get for a certain price. To be fair, some of those brands, the thing that they're providing to you, the consumer, maybe not you guys are too smart for that, but what they're providing to the customer for those $1,000, $1,200, $1,500 distressed jeans that probably could have sold for a heck of a lot less, you know what they're providing to you? That recognition. And some people, that recognition is worth a lot more money. When they walk into the club and they've got their expensive jeans on, and now they're Mr. or Mrs. somebody, or at least they feel that way about themselves. And maybe there's people out there who see that on them. And they think, hey, well, that's a Mr. somebody, and I want to be with a Mr. somebody like that who can buy jeans that way. That might be worth it to you. It's not worth it to me. It was worth it to me at one point in my life. I certainly spent money on luxury items that were flashy and showy. I think a lot of us have done that at some point. Mm-hmm. It's natural.
Or there are things that are expensive for the sake of design, and they do have good design, and you feel like, okay, well, even if it's, it's not the material cost, it's not the manufacturing cost that you're paying for, that you're paying for the design, and you're happy with it, then that's fine. And a lot of furnitures are like that. Like we, like we sometimes splurge on things that are like that kind of retains a value because they have not because that it costs that much to make them, but because it is just like a super iconic design that just
maybe there's a beautiful piece of furniture or lamp or something like that not only can you enjoy, but ultimately that's like kind of an heirloom piece where it's something you might hand down to somebody in the next generation. It might be something that at some point maybe if you want to sell it, it's going to have some kind of value. It isn't just some piece of furniture from a big box store that you use it. You don't care about it. It's trendy. It ends up at the Goodwill later on.
In that sense, the design does play a big role in it. Like it most of the time, like these designer furniture, so they have stood the test of time, and it's aesthetically pleasing to a lot of people beyond the generations, and there's a value in that, I think.
Yeah. John Chan writes, What do you need to do so that Naked and Famous is not deemed entry-level raw denim versus Japanese brands by some YouTube reviewers? I think there are a lot of people who just simply equate price and quality. Yeah. And, when you look, there's a lot that goes into what makes Naked and Famous Denim's price point its price point. And you look at some of our American competitors, which I will say they make a quality product. I would say that we're in often equivalent quality in terms of, some of the products that we produce. In terms of fabrication, sewing, all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to dump on them. But our prices are often significantly lower. And the reasons for that include tariffs. Canada and Japan have a very, very advantageous tariff system where when we import fabric, we don't pay any extra duties on that. Duties is just going to add to the cost of the product. It doesn't add any value to the product. It just adds to the price of the product. So because Canada and Japan have a free trade agreement, we can import those fabrics without paying any extra duties. And even before that was the CPTPP trade agreement, before that came into place, Canada and Japan also had free trade for fabric because Canada does not or did not produce denim fabric. So there wasn't an industry that was going to be disrupted by the importation of fabric. So we were able to save you, the consumer, money by bringing the fabric into Canada and producing our products here. Furthermore, we also own our own manufacturing. We own the manufacturing, so we're not paying a middleman. We're not paying a manufacturer to manufacture the goods for us. They're not having to make an extra margin on top of that in order to create the products that we make for you. So we're able to save you more money there. And even more so than I think one big thing that we don't even have to factor in for you is the rent of our facilities. We've been making jeans in Canada for Naked and Famous. Not Naked and Famous, but as a family. Brandon's grandfather started our company, right? Brandon's company is technically, this is all a branch of companies, but Brandon's grandfather started a workwear company when he came to Canada, and Brandon's father took it over, and then Brandon branched off and started Naked and Famous Denim. But we operate in the same facility. We own our office building. We own the whole building. We own two buildings, in fact. We own a warehouse. We own an office building. So where we operate day to day, our facilities, Tate and Yoko Montreal, we don't pay rent. We own the spot. So we don't have to build in even the cost of our rent into the price of the product for you guys, because Brandon's grandfather bought the building many, 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 many years ago. So these are things that are grandfathered, literally, into our company, that we have the advantage of not having to build these extra little costs into the product so that we can offer you the best possible price. So sometimes somebody's going to say, oh, well, that's $150, $155 Naked and Famous Denim jean. Oh, that's entry level. Entry level based on what? maybe entry level price point, but not entry level in terms of quality of product, because there will be the guy next door who puts out 3 releases a year at best if they try, and they'll tell you how they've worked for 3 years to develop this very basic indigo jean. That's a little shade I'm throwing out there. And they're going to charge you $240, $250, $275 for that.
Yeah.
Why? Because they got to pay rent. They got to import the fabric. They're making their jeans in Los Angeles in a factory that doesn't belong to them. That's why. Their price is accurate according to the structure that they have to live under. We don't have to live under that same structure, so we're able to save you some money. Like, their costs make perfect sense under what they have to do. Our costs make perfect sense under what we have to do. So some people don't really make that connection because their understanding is most people's understanding is more is better. Cost more is better.
Yeah. Well, it's just the easiest way to assess the quality without doing too much research. I just find it like we call the unbranded brand entry brand to Raw Denim because it is and it is important. I don't think we can't I don't think we shouldn't I don't think we should like disregard the cost. Like when you're getting into something new hobby, like you don't want to go for the creme of the creme, top tier level priced items because it's not something you might not like it. You then your loss is bigger. So I think we have the Unbranded brand, which is made in China. It's a raw denim, Selvedge denim, but it's also like a very, very good price point so that you can try it on and see if you like it. And for that reason, we keep the Unbranded brand very basic. We don't do a lot of crazy stuff. We sometimes get bored and introduce new fabrics and try new things, but in general that's the playing ground of like the entry level. Like if you want to get into it with lower cost, that's where you are. With Naked and Famous, I think it's very like advanced, regardless of the price. It's very advanced in terms of like how complicated our fabrics are, like how much things are into them. And then, like we also understand the little details that makes
a big difference.
Yeah. And so that's why we also do have the MIJ line where like we do put those little details. So like in general, as a Naked and Famous universe, we do have the like all the areas covered, and we don't necessarily put it because like for MIJ, like in terms of the details, the construction details and stuff like that, then we do have like maybe a leg up on Naked and Famous regular line, but at the same time we do have the more complicated, more interesting fabrics in the Made in Canada collection too. So like I wouldn't really necessarily
like we're gonna sell more Made in Canada jeans than we are Made in Japan jeans. The price point is better. Right. That's just the way it is, right? But if you are the discerning Naked and Famous fan who wants to have the elevated everything, then we've got MIJ for you. And even then, our MIJ line, like it's priced the way it's priced. It's not like designer fashion prices. And I will say that whatever you get from MIJ is going to be the best possible jean. It's just the best fabric, the best, absolutely everything is the best. No compromise in that. And we still come out to I'm going to say, again, compared to the luxury world, we come out with prices way better than they could ever offer. Now, here's a good comment. Oliver Anderson writes, I went to a denim store once who thought my Kikko jacket was pure blue Japan. Then when I said it was Naked and Famous, they talked shit about you guys. Not a good experience when a store rubbishes brands. Yeah.
Also, a brand of something that you're wearing, you, a potential customer, is wearing.
Yeah, it's like
that's very
that's a nice jacket. Is it this brand? No, it's actually this brand. Oh, well, then it sucks. I'm like, do you see the mind break? Like, that person's mind was broken, right? Like, they have no objective understanding of brand or value or quality, and that's the problem. Like, you know, when you equate something with price, or just here, this is good because I was told it was good. You have no understanding of what is good or what isn't good when your mind absolutely breaks. That something you were complimenting 1 second ago all of a sudden is rubbish when you find out, you know, who made it. And I have to say that Naked and Famous, we broke pre-Naked and Famous. The Raw Denim World was this big. It was this tiny. Okay, it was not mainstream. Not that it's like mainstream today, but it was far from mainstream. And there was a couple of gatekeepers who were holding all the cards. Japan had no idea that the West was interested in raw denim. They sold to like a couple stores, and those stores gatekeeped everything. No other stores can carry these brands. We're just going to sell to this little community that we have on the forums and this and that. And then Naked and Famous Denim did the Kool-Aid Man. We didn't just smash down the door. We smashed down the building. And we were like, here you go. Here's raw denim, Japanese quality sewing done in Canada. And they're $118. And here you are. I can only imagine you are selling $275 jeans, $325. You're selling some really, really expensive jeans. And all of a sudden someone's like, yeah, well, these are $120. That's scary for a lot of people. And that moment that happened broke a few brains. Some people were like, that is scary for my business. And I understand that completely. But since then, and for the people out there who are like, well, I'm very proud of the product that I bought for 3 times the price, and fine, you could look in one breath, you could be like, I probably overpaid a little bit for this. Who cares, right? Mm-hmm. If you can spend $300 on a pair of jeans, who cares? Your life's probably pretty fine anyways, right? You know, it's just the idea that you have to knock something down in order to build yourself up. You could be like, man, these are a little overpriced. Some camera brands I like, their cameras, in my opinion, stupidly overpriced. I still want one. I'd still probably buy one. It's just the way it is. Yeah. Sometimes things are a little overpriced. Maybe you can get a similar quality product somewhere else for a little bit less. It doesn't mean that that product that is less expensive is crap in comparison. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that. And so when people play this game, especially with us, you know, it shows me that like their appreciation for the craft isn't there, and they're more interested in, I don't want to make assumptions, but for me, I think there's a fine balance of this is a craft and this is a business, and like, you know, I might throw some shade here and there. I don't name names. I'll let you guys decide that for yourselves. But you know, I don't think that I'm any of the criticism I would make is gonna be from, I'm gonna say, someone who really understands how this all works. So, and I could be wrong. You could have another opinion. Somebody else might have a similar be in a similar position, have a completely opposite stance. And I'm happy to hear it, right? But some of the negative criticism that comes on us is just sometimes so out of left field, and I'm like, you just tell me you don't like me. To me, that's more honest, where you're like, I don't like that brand. Those guys, well, you know, guy's funny looking. Wife says, I don't know, I don't want to, whatever it is. They're not nice people. To me, better criticism of, well, that's just crap that they make. Like, is it?
Well, that's just, you know, I mean, the Yeah, I mean they're just a little insecure about their own things. Because if you're like secure and happy with like what you're doing, then I think this community is small enough that we all like, like we are friendly with a lot of denim brands, raw denim brands that are because it's just like we're all like the same things. Like we should be friends. We should like like compliment each other on things that we're doing well in that field. But, some people are just, they don't play nice with others, I guess.
Some don't play nice. Look, I understand we're in competition with each other in some ways. But the Raw Denim World is, I'm gonna toot my own horn. The Raw Denim World is bigger because of us. Mm-hmm. The Raw Denim World is bigger because of Naked and Famous Denim. We introduced a lot of people to Raw Denim. Our products were available in department stores across America, in store, mainstream stores where people found us. We had a lot of press. We built up a lot of stuff online. We partner, we have friends in the YouTube world that talk about Raw Denim. Like, we're very active.
But I think that's also another comment on like the reason behind why we are like marked as the entry level brand, because we are so available. We are so everywhere. You can like reach us like even personally. Going back to the initial talk about that, like we're so approachable in every way. Like our products are everywhere, we're everywhere, like you can message us and all of that. That makes sometimes like things that are harder to attain seems like a higher level things, and I think that's part of the like us being the entry level because we're just so accessible.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah,
that's probably it too. But yeah, look,
it's not a bad thing, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think it's good to be in that position because...
Right. But even then, like, the fact that we've grown the Raw Denim World, I think we've done a lot to grow it. Personally, that I'm taking a lot of credit for that. That has only helped everybody. It has only helped everyone. There's a lot of people who might start with an Unbranded, they get a Naked and Famous, maybe they try something else somewhere else, but the fact that there are so many more people interested in raw denim has only helped everybody in the raw denim world, right? I'm going to say it. The brands out here in Japan, they don't do any outreach to the West. They don't try to build, they rely on a couple of stores to do some messaging for them. And that's it, right? It was all the West that built up the brands out here in Japan. If the brands out here in Japan relied on the Japan market like they used to, they'd all be gone by now. Like, they really sell a lot of their jeans to the Western market now because of a few voices in the West that built them up completely. They would be toast out here.
To be fair, I think there's a lot of small brands that can survive. I think that they would just be irrelevant in the West.
Sure, fair enough. But the fact that the West has grown raw denim so well, we've done a lot of that. There's enough customers to go around, and you can have your opinion about a product, but to just hand wave something away and be like, that's nothing. Like, even like the Kickstarter brands out there, those people get people into raw denim, right? Yeah. Those people get people in. Oh, I see a pair of they're $88 online. I want to go back that campaign. Great, enjoy. You're wearing raw jeans. You're in. Mm-hmm. Right? Sooner or later, maybe you become a Naked and Famous fan. You try it. Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't like it. You try something else. You're in the ballpark. But like the idea that like you were gonna grow this world by gatekeeping, I don't believe that at all. I'm very open. I want everybody to wear raw jeans, and I want to make raw jeans as approachable for people as possible. And if that means giving them good prices, making fabrics that are wearable from day one, you don't have to break them in so hard. We have got fabrics that you got to break in. We got fabrics that you don't have to break in. We've got stretch. We got non-stretch. We have cashmere. We have everything. We make raw denim for people to wear, right? This isn't some private club that nobody can join unless you've got the right heritage outfit on. No. When you see Naked and Famous, when I share our stories on the Instagram account, you see so many different kinds of people wearing raw jeans. Everything from, the heritage guy to the Canadian lumberjack to the streetwear guy. Everything in between, every color of person, man, woman, you name it, they're on there. And it isn't one thing for us. And I don't like having that one look, right? I want everyone wearing raw jeans. That's the beauty. This canvas is for every kind of person. Whatever color we make it, we'll make it for every kind of person. Rocker, hip hopper, you name it, we want you wearing raw jeans. Anyhow, that was a good little rant you got me going on. And if you enjoy that kind of rant, if you enjoy that kind of unhinged, unscripted ranting behavior, hit the like button right now. Hit that like button. There's a lot of you here in the chat. If you haven't hit that like button yet, hey, I'm going to give you a deal. Absolutely free to hit that like button right now. That offer goes on, in fact, later on into the replay of the stream. So whenever you're watching this stream, wherever you're watching this stream, if you're watching it in your home, on a bus, on a boat, out or in space, in the future or in the past, hit that like button right now so that it helps us become more discoverable for people so that they too can join the Raw Denim Society that we've built here. That is welcome to everyone. Absolutely everyone. We want you here. All right. Pierre Moreau with a good question. Any chance of an MIJ Ecru? I'm going to say oui. Oui is French for yes. So I say that is a very likely thing to happen. Also, very likely to happen with Unbranded, as in it's going to happen. So we like Ecru, and we're going to make Ecru more available and more options and more price points for you.
Yeah. MIJ line is just slowly expanding to like the areas that are not just dark indigo by white.
Yeah.
But yeah, it will take time.
Okay. Pedro writes, operators are standing by to take your likes. It's true. We will take them every single time. We appreciate your likes when you hit that like button. Oliver Anderson, when was the MIJ 10 restock?
It will be sometime this year.
Sometime this year. Okay.
Sometime like in the first half of this year.
Okay, so
it might not be Q1, maybe early Q2.
Okay.
It is gonna happen. MIJ 12 is gonna come out. We established that MIJ 13 is gonna come out first.
Yeah.
With in
probably February. Yeah.
Kind of area. So yeah, we're going back in numbers, but
a little bit.
Yeah.
But you guys already know the reason why.
Yeah.
We've talked about that more than a few times. Okay. What do we got here? Kenny Ingram, would you ever do one of those heritage workwear striped jeans?
Oh,
Lim, welcome to the channel. Kenny Ingram, would you ever do one of those heritage / workwear striped jeans? Sorry, don't know the real name of it. I think I would go. It would go well with my hickory short coat. Like a
hickory,
like a hickory stripe. Maybe is that what you're thinking of? I could see that at some point. Yeah, we've never done that, eh? I don't think so.
Never? I don't know. Probably not.
Probably not.
Those are hard to sell, I think.
Jackets are better.
Jackets are way better.
Jackets are better. If we were to make an overall, maybe that would work. But as a jean, I don't know. You know, the herringbone denim did quite well. Then again, the herringbone denim is all indigo, right?
Not the same thing.
Not the same thing. Smoke writes, colored weft MIJ. That is definitely a possibility.
but probably further
yeah,
into the
further
future.
along.
Yeah.
But yeah, we hear you. We know what needs to be done with the expansion of the MIJ, and you will see more quirky fabrics working its way into the MIJ line. That's for sure. Snuff Spoon writes, Michael Myers, strong guy fit. We'll see. I will expand out strong guy and groovy guy a little bit more this year, and maybe that's the final topic I want to touch base on with for this live stream before we get into snack times, and that is where do I see the market headed in 2024? I think we saw a big influx of true guy. So straight leg was definitely what led 2023. There was a big demand for that, and we introduced true guy, and a lot of people found that is their new favorite fit. And
to be fair, we worked on that for like 2 years.
Yeah, it was a little late in terms of it being out there, but the true guy was a big hit, and I like the fact that we're seeing more straight leg options becoming available, and I think that is going to lead the trend in 2024. But we have seen one thing that is going to be a carryover from 2023 into 2024, I think, is the fashion guys, right? I think the fact that we have a store in New York, and I think the fact that like fashion Instagram has picked up on raw denim in general. Now they're wearing raw denim a little bit differently. They're looking to our strong guy. They're looking towards our groovy guy for that mix of raw denim, which they think is really cool, and fashion fits, right? They like the bagginess of the strong guy. To be fair, sometimes I see some strong guy fits online. The jeans are hiked up a little too high. They're not sure how to wear baggy jeans, because maybe they haven't worn baggy jeans before. They were wearing a lot of skinny jeans. So sometimes I find that like they're hiked up too high. I'm like, slouch them down a little bit. That waistband has got to sit right on your waist, right? If you're jacking them up to like your crotch, it looks a little funny. Wear them low, and then they gotta bunch up on your legs a little bit, or hem them to length. But I do see an influx of the fashion guys coming into raw denim. Now, with the fashion guys, there will be a drop off. So there's guys who are going to be coming in for the trend. They're going to wear that, and then they're going to be off to the next trend. Then we're going to have the stayovers. The people are like, nope, raw denim is for me. I found it. I found my thing. I like this thing. I'm going to stick around. And then we'll see some, I think they'll go from the strong guy into the true guy as more of a easy daily driver. Same thing with the groovy. The groovy is more of it's definitely a statement, in terms of what you're wearing that day. Like, when I could wear my groovy guys, when I was a little thinner, I loved wearing them because I felt like this is so different, right? But it would be hard for me as a daily driver.
Yeah, because you're not that person also.
No. Yeah, if I want to wear like a particular outfit, groovy guy goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but every single day, I'm a true guy, straight leg. I'm a true guy kind of guy. That's me now. What are your thoughts? Any things that you see coming out in 2024s?
I don't know. I agree with you in general that there's always been a place for raw denim in the fashion world, but I think the fact that like people have been wearing like a cargo pants, kind of workwear colored pants, Carhartt kind of things in the past, I can see that it naturally comes back to more like a denim side of the things this year. That's great. I just also think that other than these like super fashion kids, just people in general always want something that just is I don't know. So, last week we kind of like suggested that we talk about like what is your New Year's like fashion things,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think that for me, it's like, you know, wear, like, because I used to kind of think about, like, oh, I have to wear something different. Like, I have to, you know, because I have so many clothes in my closet, like, I have to, you know, wear things that are different. And then, like starting last year, like, I kind of started to give up on this. You know what? I'm going to wear whatever I feel like wearing. And a lot of the times, it's the same clothes, basically same outfit, every day for like a long time, and then you just kind of move on to, oh, maybe this works for me now, that kind of things. And I think I started to give in to that urges of wearing the same clothes every day. And I think I'm just gonna go all the way this year, where like, if I like it, I'm just gonna wear it.
Yeah.
Who cares if you saw me like 2 weeks apart and then wearing the same outfit?
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
Yeah, it's my
you know
uniform.
that I washed it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be gross.
Right.
And as long as I don't smell, people are not gonna judge me for that. It's just my look for now.
That's it.
So I feel like a lot of people can live in that world with raw denim. So like, if you're in the mood for like a wider leg jeans, what better like wider leg pants than like a dark indigo raw denim jeans? So I think with, you know, maybe with Groovy Guy a little bit less, but if you just kind of find your fit where you feel comfortable, you feel relatively like moderate, you know, like, because you don't want to be, aside from those fashion kids, you don't want to be always on. Like, you don't want to be like, this is my outfit, look at me. You just want to blend in. You feel comfortable. You feel confident. So if you find that, I feel like a lot of people can find that in raw denim. And by having like a bunch of different fits in a lot of core fabrics now, I think we can offer that option to a lot of people.
Right. Jameson Keating writes, personal style is going to be at the forefront of fashion in 2024. People are going to be boldly and unapologetically themselves. I think we will definitely see Strong and Groovy Guy moving. Well, Strong and Groovy Guy are moving well. I'm going to expand it out with a few more fabric options this year. Probably won't happen until summer, I'm going to say, if I put in some production now. But you will see some more of that happening. BD writes, wearing the same stuff over and over. Team, he's team wearing it over and over. Keep wearing the stuff you love a lot. That's it. Wear the stuff you got. Wear them a lot. Wear it to shreds. Wear it to bits. Enjoy the things you have.
Because that makes you happy, and that's what matters, really.
Chris Griffin, I'm looking forward to the Greencast MIJ. I would like if the Kikko came in other color options, maybe black. Well, maybe you will be surprised to see what comes out next fall. Mr. Chris Griffin. Maybe. As in, you won't be surprised at all, because that's exactly what we're baking. But you'll see it. Chris also writes, I'm going to buy a washboard to hand wash my jeans, LOL. That's my New Year's goal birthday gift to myself this spring. You know, I was just thinking about that the other day, because I remember a long time ago on the live stream we were talking about, you know, back in the day, they used a washboard to wash their jeans. And I'm like...
That's why you got, like, a lot of fades, because of abrasion.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, that would be cool to do.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot of work. But I'm like, that, like, if, like, that is a thought. That idea, whoever introduced that idea, that's an idea that was never discussed in the raw denim world before. Like, you know, there was all this, how do I wash my jeans? And, like, what kind of detergent should I use? I'm like, oh, you want real authentic vintage fades? Well, you got to wash them the real authentic vintage way.
But, like,
right?
I've seen, like, these, like, diagram
Authentic.
of like, the how to wash your jeans. And oftentimes, like, the washing part is not a picture of a washing machine. It's a picture of, like, a bucket and then the washboard. And
really?
Like,
I've never seen that.
Yeah, like, it's an old school, you know, it's like a shower with your thing and shrink to fit kind of, like, diagrams. You know what I'm talking about.
Right.
But, yeah, it is definitely a good idea. And especially if you're not washing your jeans all the time, it might not be that much of a hassle, because it's not something you have. It's not like you have to wash your socks and underwear with washboards.
Right.
You can use machine for that, and every once a month or twice a month that you wash your jeans, you pull out that washing board. I don't even know where to.
Pending new name writes, I've been washboard washing since then.
Wow.
Was it you that introduced it? Well, if so, that was a great idea, and I hope more people try it out, because I do think your jeans are gonna fade. Chris Griffin writes, that was me. I do think it's going to create some really, really beautiful faded denim.
Yeah, and if you have
fade.
been doing it and you have like tips for the newcomers to the washing board community, like share with us, because that could be a fun experiment.
Yeah. John Chan writes, when will the zipper work coat be released? Pricing in the spring.
Yes.
Yeah, in the spring. I don't have pricing yet, but spring. Okay. No saves right. If I were to buy Naked Famous jeans just to cut up and make a quilt, what would you suggest as my most economical option? I'm going to say to you that idea is not economical at all. Don't do it. Don't do it.
You could go to a thrift store and try and find Naked Famous, even though I think it would be very difficult to find.
If you were to do it, go on tateandyoko.com, find the biggest size jeans at the lowest prices. If it's a on sale item, that would be one way to get a lot of fabric. Mm-hmm.
The wider the leg is, the better probably.
eBay. If you find some old used pairs on eBay, if anybody has like a throw me an offer type of situation, lowball the hell out of them on those apps on your phone, whatever, those secondhand clothing apps. Just start lowballing bad offers out there, because somebody is bound to be like, whatever, I wasn't going to wear these anyway, so if I get a couple bucks for them, it's better for me. Those are your economical solutions. Your real economical solution, if you want to make a denim quilt, is just go to your local fabric supplier, your fabric land. Just buy some denim and make a denim quilt using that. If you're in Japan, the fabric stores here often have like a decent selection of Japanese denim that you can buy by the yard.
Mm-hmm. Or scraps.
Yeah,
scraps are very
abundant. If you do come to Japan, just come here and buy 10 meters of fabric, and you'll be
sometimes those denim is sold at the price that like we get, like as a brand buying hundreds and thousands of meters. It's very surprising.
Sometimes the prices are really good. Like I'll see a fabric, I'm like, I recognize, it might not be a fabric we use, but like I recognize the fabric, and I'm like, that's like, but to be fair, like some of those fabric stores are chains. So, like, they have the buying power of, like, a brand. So they're like, we'll buy,
but they're passing down the savings on to the consumer who are going to buy 1 yard at a time or 2 yards at a time. Yeah.
I've seen online places that, like, sell fabric by the yard. And, like, I'm like, that's, like, a normal markup. Like, from like, the cost of the fabric to, like, that. I'm like, that's about right. Yeah. Because they're selling 1 or 2 meters at a time. You're right. Like, they're not selling tons. Yeah. So, anyhow. No says right. Did Risa color her hair? It looks good.
Thank you. Yeah. It was a few weeks ago, but I don't know. I wasn't sure if I liked it, but
it's growing on you.
I guess so.
All right. Well, it's growing on the audience here. Everybody here loves it.
Thank you.
Okay. Lynn writes, our newest subscriber, if anyone wants to find those old school washboards that were made with the metal things, you can see them in a lot of places that have a lot of Hispanic people, since our grandmas still love using them.
Great.
All right, that is some good advice. Maybe the Hispanic supply store, grocery store or something like that might have them. Hispanic supply store. That's you've got the candles and I'm not sure.
The metal, huh?
The metal washboard, like the ridged. Lynn, if you have any tips, put them in the comments. People will check out those stores. Okay. Mark Andre writes, do you think one day a strong guy with the true guy leg openings can be possible? That's just the true guy, really. I mean, the strong guy might have a slightly wider top block than the true guy, but you could just size up with the true guy and you'll probably be fine if you need a little bit more room in the top block. Galactic Moonshine writes, please restock Risa's kimono shirt at some point.
This is pretty old.
Yeah, it's pretty old. Yeah.
I just...
yeah, we should do more flannel-like kimono shirts at some point.
This fabric was great.
Yeah.
It's got like a very... like
the yellow
texture.
line is like jacquarded in and is raised over
it's
top
like
of everything
much
else.
Thicker yarn
Yeah.
that's kind of woven into this.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Snack time?
Snack time. Let's do it. Let's
Okay.
do snack time.
This is Gigant Poteco. Poteco is what do you call it in the West?
Like ringalos.
Ringolos that
Yeah.
that's like these shapes, and this is supposed to be 200% bigger in size than regular potecos, and double garlic beef steak flavored.
Okay. Now in Japan,
If you've been with us for a long time, you already know that W, the alphabet W, stands for double in Japanese.
so in the West we'll use about like 2x. In Japan, it ain't 2x, it's a W, because a W is 2 U's. And so double the U's, double the amount, double the goodness.
I did not know that Western people don't use this. You know, certain things are just built into your things, that your brain, that you can't understand not understanding it. And this was like a very big like moment for me that you told me that, what does the W stand for? And it's like, double. Like, duh. It's very...
Yeah. So we've got 200 times the size and double the flavor of these garlic steak flavored.
It doesn't look so big, honestly. It looks very small still.
I don't know.
But I mean, the original ones are very tiny and cute. I guess this one's like
they are bigger.
The size of
that's
your
for
finger,
sure. So
maybe.
it goes on the finger quite nicely.
Oh, it smells like garlic.
Smells like garlic a lot.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Crunchy, garlicky.
Very garlicky. Peppery a little.
I don't taste much steak. That is a... If they were to just tell me it was garlic, I would believe them. Steak at the end. You got the peppery steak
I feel
bit at the end there.
that oh, here's the original size, and this one's bigger. I guess taller. I don't know.
Right.
And then it does have this like soy sauce flavor, though. Like garlic soy sauce in my pepper.
I like these. These are good.
These are delicious. I would buy again. It's a little too salty, I think.
Yeah, very salty. This is it's very salty.
Yeah, it's good with like beer.
I would have imagined that beer would be the perfect match for this, but yeah, as I don't know what else would go with it. A Sprite. You might enjoy a nice non-alcoholic Sprite beverage with this.
Alcoholic Sprite.
Yeah.
Is there an alcoholic Sprite?
There might be. I'm gonna go with a recommend. If you come to Japan,
Yeah.
find these.
I would rate it like, I don't know, 8-1.
That's very high.
I like it.
BD actually nailed it because I was about to say 7.4, and he nailed it with the 7.4. This is good. It's not elite. It's in the good category. I would get it again. If I saw it, I'd buy it.
Certainly.
Yeah.
It's great. I also like these type of potato snacks
Yeah.
that are not chips. Like, I love chips, but I like these powdered potato
Yeah.
shaped into something kind of snacks.
Right. Like a Pringles.
Yeah.
Yeah, except in a different fun shape. There you have it, everybody. 200 times the size, double the power. Gigant. Check them out. Available here in Japan.
Probably for a limited time.
Yeah, this is not a wide release. But if you find them in your local Asian grocery store, you pick them up, you try them, and you let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And speaking of the comments below, let us know where you're checking in from. If you're tuning in later on in the replay, because we want to know where you're tuning in from. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel. Have a wonderful weekend.
We forgot to greet everybody with Happy New Year this time.
And have a happy new year. Have a happy new year, everybody. This is the official last day to say that to anyone, because any further than this, and it just starts to get a little bit weird. So
we talked about this. I don't know. I mean, it's still the first. As long as it's the first time you see somebody, and it's still January, I think it's fine. I don't know.
See you in June. Happy New Year. All right, everyone. We're gonna wrap it up. So we'll see you guys next time. It's been a blast. We'll be back again here next Friday for our weekly live stream, the Naked Famous Denim Raw Denim live stream, the greatest live stream in the history of the internet.com. And we will see you guys again here, 7 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, that's it. That's my outro. So we'll see you guys again.
Bye, everybody.
All right, bye, everyone.
Have a nice weekend.